Okay, welcome. So I have the Castle Combe Karting Championship, round 3. This is one of 4 heats and a final. Get a really bad start, as you can see. I got distracted by the camera a bit. Just come around the first corner, getting bumped quite a bit. You can tell coming up the hill here that my weight really does help me with getting up to speed. You'll see that slightly later in the video as well. The main focus here is not necessarily to get past Neil, because he's a seriously quick guy, but to get back second place, which I lost at the start. I got some pretty decent starting positions, although they were all on the left in every single race I did, which didn't help because I find I got a pretty bad start when I was on the left. Would have liked to try the right, but that didn't end up happening, so. You see the guy ahead just making a few mistakes, running a bit wide, which has let me catch up quickly enough. And getting him run up the hill, and he's kind of seeing me move around a bit, and he goes defensive but loses all his speed. Just kind of muscle my way through. You know, that corner was fair. I had the at least 50% on the side and had the position for that. But it turns out he ended up losing the rear after I made contact with him, which put him in under the barrier, which was not ideal, but they had to red flag the race because of it here, as you'll see, and just reset. So that puts me back in the second, so no position change, but yeah. So start this time, I get a much better reaction, much better getaway. I can almost take Neil around the outside, but I just clip his rear and don't quite make it. Here I almost get put into the wall, which is fair enough. It's not one you'd normally go too wide through. I go for a bit of a dive down the inside. I think it's not a very fair move, so I give it back straight away and just focus on trying to catch him later. So you'll see once again by the end of the first lap I lost a position, and I'm going to try and do what I did last time and make that up as quick as I can. I just catch him then as he loses his momentum halfway through around the corner. Again, you see just catching on the top of the hill here, trying to get cut back, doesn't quite work again. So just having to follow him through down to the next hairpin, because that's there's only 2 overtaking spots really, and there's 2 hairpins at the top and the bottom of the hill. And then bang. I think that was a lovely move. It's just coming back up the hill now and I can just out-drag him. Obviously at this point Neil is completely gone. There's no hope of catching him, especially with how short these heats are. You know, coming straight from SRK, which is I think pretty long heats, this felt really short for me. So moving on to the second heat, you see I get another really bad start, and I'm already in last place, in 5th. So I would have started 4th, but yeah, it didn't quite work. And here, just going for a dive bomb. Works out well, so no problems there. And just move on forward. The guys in these heats were really quite quick, especially Aidan, who did a great job and managed to finish first, I believe. He's already got quite a gap here, as position 2 and 3 are starting to come a bit closer together and maybe look at trying to overtake each other or defend, which slows them up a bit, but I don't think it's enough. You might be able to hear it just as I'm coming out the corners. There's a bit of a scraping sound. At the time I thought this was maybe my bumper just touching the ground or something. You know, maybe something hanging loose. Or just being affected when I was coming around the corners. But you'll see just slightly later in the heat it turns out to be a mechanical problem. You see I'm looking down at the car and I'm feeling the problems and putting my hand up as I notice the serious loss of power when I try and put my foot down. You know, scraping and horrible noises. The engine revs just spiking as soon as I try and put my foot down. I guess at the time it was either I'd managed to disconnect the gear or ran the teeth on it, and that just meant the chain kept skipping and skipping. You'll hear just in a second that it that when I try and accelerate, it doesn't make a great noise. Okay, so moving on to Heat 3, starting P4 again, which is on the left hand side. Get a pretty good start here, actually, unlike the rest of them. There's nowhere to go really, so you just got to try and fall back. Unfortunately, I get pushed a bit wide, and the other people get a better exit from that. So, you know, as always, start from the back again, and I've got to make my way through. You can see here that I've still got more pace than the guys ahead, but I'm just struggling to find my way past them. I'm probably going for moves that were not very advantageous towards me. Should have been making moves at the hairpin, which I will do eventually, but for now it doesn't quite work out and I've just got to try and wiggle my way through. So you can see here that I'm catching the guy ahead and got just enough space to make a dive and works out great. Getting just under braking and perfect exit. It's just about catching the guy ahead again. Again, making a really nice cut back and just holding it through the chicane there. And I think I did this on the last lap, which you see as soon as check flag goes, I've got it. I've got P3. Considering I started P4, that wasn't too bad. My first two heats were where I started. Again, I get a really bad reaction time in Heat 4, but I think Barry had a bit of a problem getting off the line. Because he weighs a fair bit more than me. I am really quite light, and this unweighted championship comes in my favour, I think, quite a lot here. So I was trying to follow Barry at the time, but then he just kind of completely forces me out of the way, and somebody else gets in the way when I'm just trying to catch these guys up. Just trying to make some ground on them. Barry does a good job of holding this guy up. He holds him for quite a long time, I think. Just coming up to this hairpin now. You can see that I'm, just through that one corner, I've already closed the gap by quite a bit, and I just keep doing that again and again and again. And trying to get my place back that I lost at the start. right on the tail end of Barry, and then I'm just trying to find a way past, but he's got a really good defence. I'm not sure if he's had a load of experience on the track or not, but yeah, he really is quite good at defending here, and you can see I'm struggling to get past, losing all my momentum through the corner. So I just decided it's got to kind of come up to a bit of a dive bomb. He loses his defence right at the end there, which just makes a gap for me. It was slightly reminiscent of the move that was made on me at the start, but I think Barry actually gave me position because he saw I was going to make the move and that he couldn't really defend that. So yeah, we progressed to the final now, finishing the B final. I was 12th overall coming into this, and again, starting on the left, which isn't really advantageous. Lights out, and it's a pretty good start. The guy ahead, not so quick off the line, so just kind of give him a shove to try and get him to fight with the guy in first. You see, coming into this game, we've already fallen into our positions, and I've already got a fair bit of pace compared to these guys, even when they're checking up. This instant I thought was not good, as I get absolutely walloped. I'm defending super aggressively there because that's not a time when you want to have your position taken from you, and it's not very fair if you do. When the leaders ahead are, putting each other's in the barrier and then checking you guys up. So yeah, I was a bit annoyed at that. But it's still in fourth, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm faster than the guys ahead. I know that, and I've just got to make the ground while I still can, because the heats and the finals still aren't very long. I'd like them to be longer, which would definitely help my results, because you can see I get bad starts, but I've got the good pace to make the positions back. I get completely ignored by this guy. I don't know what he was doing. I could have probably gotten the position from him if he'd seen me, but I was being a bit blind at the time. So just kind of return the favour. Bit of an aggressive move, but there was the space, and I made it fair enough. So now it's all about catching the guys ahead, because I know I'm quicker than the guy behind. So I'm in third now, and you can see that I'm really starting to catch this guy rather quickly. I think the anger from the beginning helps with that a bit. Yeah, when I'm angry I tend to perform really well, push the cart to its absolute limits, and get some good lap times down. Again, just seeing that I'm catching that guy really quickly, which shows I have the pace. I really do have the pace to finish in second or maybe in first. I think the guy in first managed to run away a fair bit, because everybody else was crashing behind. Hear me talking to myself there. Yeah, already pretty much on the back of this guy, and after a few laps. I think this is the final lap here just coming up, which means I've got to make a move now or never. Trying to use my advantage up the hill, trying to be a bit stealthy about it, by accidentally tap the rear when he goes defensive. I would have absolutely launched one down the inside at that point, but just manages to keep the position, losing momentum there, and we crossed the line. So yeah, that was Castle Combe round 3, and yeah, hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.